everybody, it's Cathryn from In the Pink Designs. This is my last Halloween video for 2023. Alright, I made a box that measures 2 3/4 by 3 3/4 by 1 1/4. And you can, I use cardstock and then designer series paper, but you can make this out of just designer series paper. And I made it, the size of the cardstock is 8.5 by 6, so you can get 2 of these out of every sheet of your cardstock. So I was just using up my scraps and things that I had already stamped. Like I had already stamped this skeleton and another skeleton, so that's what I'm going to use, and we'll stamp another pumpkin there. Alright, I'm using pieces of all 3 sets of our Halloween sets for this. I'm using Pick of the Patch for the pumpkin. I'm using Bag of Bones, obviously, for the skeleton, and the dies for the skeleton and the bats. And I'm using the Tricks and Treats dies for the edge of the top flap. Alright, so it's kind of a compilation of all 3 for my last video on Halloween. Alright, so what we need for this project is a piece of pumpkin pie, or you can do a piece of DSP that is 8.5 by 6. We need 2 pieces of the Them Bones designer series paper that are 2.5 by 3.5, and 1 piece that is 2.5 by 1/2. Alright, I cut out 3 of the bats from Them Bones dies, and this time I used my Walmart transparent tape, glossy finished transparent tape. I love this. I use this, it's filled all the way to the rim here usually. It's $1.28, and I use this for all my wrapping. It lasts a really long time, but I cut the bats with it. I put it on the basic black cardstock and cut them out, and I think it works just as good. Alright, so obviously I'm not going to be stamping another skeleton, but I used Versamark ink on basic black cardstock. I used my stamping platform and stamped it 3 times, and then I put some white Stampin' Emboss powder on it and heated it up with my heat tool, and then I cut it out with the dies. Alright, so that's that. This is my host code. Please put that in for any purchases under $1.15, not including your tax and shipping. Alright, so we're going to start on the 8.5 inch side, and you're going to score at 1 1/4, 4, 5 1/4, and 8. Turn it to the 6 inch side and score at 1 1/4 and at 5. Alrighty. Now you want to fold and burnish all of your score lines. Okay, and before I go over this, next week I'm going to be starting my Sending Cheer kit. I have some really cute things to go in them, and I have this stamp set I'm going to be giving away. I know some of you watch every minute of my videos, and I so appreciate that. So to the person that emails me answering what mishap happened with glitter and what color it was, okay, just send me an email. My email is down below, and then I think on Sunday I will stop it, and then when I do my first video next week, I will tell you who the winner is. Alright, so just tell me what mishap I had with glitter and what color the glitter was. Alright, and I'll be sending this out, and this is the one I'm going to be doing my kit with. Alright, Sending Cheer bundle. Alright, so we have the 1/2 inch skinny rectangle over here. There is a 1 1/4 inch strip on the bottom over here, and then at the top is a 1 inch strip. And this is what we're going to be doing. Okay. Alright, so we're going to start down over here, and we're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge both sides of the square. Okay, go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle. All right, now turn it so that your 1/2 inch rectangle is over here. Okay, go to the first score line, cut it to the first score line, and wedge up into that skinny rectangle. Then go to the next score line, cut it to the first score line, and we're going to cut off these 3 pieces. All right, now at this point, you could just put your box together if you don't want to cut the jagged edge up here, but you might have to take off probably 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch just so that it doesn't cover up your skeleton. All right, so I'm going to take this die. This is from the Tricks and Treats dies. You can use any border die you want. I'm just going to put this on here. I'm going to leave a little bit, probably 1/16 of an inch up there. And I'm going to put my tape on there. And I'm going to fold these under, and I'm going to run it through, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm going to take this off. All right, and there you have your serrated edge at the top. So this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring, cutting, and cutting that border. Okay, I'm going to get tear and tape and put it on what's left of that skinniest rectangle. I'll use my take your pick tool to get the backing off. All right, flip over the whole thing, flip over the side with the tape, and then flip the other side to meet it. Now this is our back that has that seam. So we're going to put the tabs in and put a little dot of glue on each. We're going to pull the back forward. Okay, and then we're going to put some glue right here on the back of our front flap and push that down. Just make sure all the sides are nice and even. Then flip it over and push it down with your take your pick tool. So we'll make sure that everything attaches. All right, now we need our DSP. The 2 pieces that are 2.5 by 3.5 are going on the front and the back. And this piece that is 2.5 by 1/2, we're going to put right here on that flap. And I'm going to put them all on with liquid glue. Okay, now we're just going to let that dry a minute and we'll do our stamping. I already did my skeleton and I have my bats cut out, so we just need a little bit of basic white cardstock, and we're going to use Old Olive ink, Pumpkin Pie ink, and Tuxedo Black ink. So I'm going to stamp the largest pumpkin from Pick of the Patch with Pumpkin Pie ink, and then I'm going to put the face on with Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to cut that with the Pick of the Patch punch. Alrighty. And then we need the stem. And I'm going to do the stem with Old Olive. And then I'm just going to punch this out too. Alrighty. So what I want to do is connect the stem to the back of the pumpkin with just a little dot of glue. All right. Now we need, oh, I didn't show you what I put inside. Open that up. And I put 3 fun size, a Kit Kat, a Hershey Fang, and a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. So what we want to do is run our fingers down the sides and push in a little bit, just so it kind of gives it a chance to get used to going in. And then we're going to squeeze the top together, front to back. All right, and then I'm going to put my 3 candies in. And close it, and I'm going to punch. This is a 1/8 inch. You could use a 1/4 inch hole punch if you want, and then close it. Get a pencil. Make sure it's nice and straight here, and make a mark where those holes are. And then I'm going to punch those. All right, and then I have about 14 inches of ribbon, and I'm going to feed it through the actual body of the box in the holes. Okay, and then through the back of the flap. Okay. All right, and then I'm just going to tie a knot and then a bow. Squeeze it. Okay, so you might need a little less, maybe 13 or 12, but 14 I think is a good bet. And then this might be a little more than that. All right. It makes it much easier if they're kind of long tails, if they want to retie their box, whoever you give it to. Alrighty, then I'm going to take my skeleton and I'm going to put him on the left side with liquid glue. I'm going to kind of lean him so that one of his hands is right in where one of the serrated top parts are. So that just helps it so that his hand doesn't go behind the top. Alrighty, and then I'm going to take dimensionals and put my pumpkin on. I'm going to put him right here. He's going to cover some of his foot. Alright, and then we'll use liquid glue for the bats. I'm going to try to just do it with my hand. I'm just going to put a little dot in the middle and then kind of run it around. And I'm going to put one right here. This is where it helps to have something in the box so that you can really push. And then one over here, and then the smallest one a little lower. Oops. And that's it. I hope you have a great weekend, and I don't know if I will have any videos on Tuesday. Wednesday definitely. Alrighty, I will see you next time. Please subscribe and hit the like button. Bye.